Mining industry leaders say the recent pickup in demand from China may not be sustainable. BHP Billiton chief Marius Kloppers and others say recent buying may not have been based on fundamentals, and they expect any return to growth to be slow and protracted. Desley Coleman reports.
His predecessor didn't like gazing into crystal balls, but Marius Kloppers was willing to reach for his today. At a key minerals industry conference continuing in Canberra, the chief executive of BHP Billiton was cautiously optimistic.
In the medium term, we don't expect a sharp rebound in overall world economic activity. In fact, we probably believe as a company that the economic recovery will be both slow and protracted.
Mr Kloppers also questioned the sustainability of the recent pickup in demand for commodities from China and said China's current build-up of stocks did not entirely reflect underlying demand and was tied to China's massive $900 billion economic stimulus package.
What is still unclear, despite all of the positive signs, is the ability of the stimulus package to offset the effects of the decreased exports.
That caution is shared by Oz Minerals Chief Executive Andrew Mitchellmore.
We're seeing it, I think maybe some of the numbers in terms of what's converted through to prices, maybe some of that's overblown. Certainly we hear the Chinese government is buying stocks, strategic stockpiles, so that's not consumption. So I think that's where the apparent demand is probably higher than the real demand.
But global resource analyst Tim Goldsmith has no doubts about the demand in China.
I don't think the mining boom ever stopped. I think it got masked by other events going on. I think that we've still got the industrialisation of half the world's population. That's a 100-year, 200-year game. We're only about 30 years into it.
But the global demand picture is also muddied by developments in the business cycle among OECD nations.
We do see stabilisation in the next 6 months. As the OECD finds its base level, restocking commences, and as China's restocking exercise evens out.
Marius Kloppers avoided talking about iron ore price negotiations and speculation that his company is in talks with Rio Tinto. But he did weigh into the carbon emissions debate, saying that the best benefits will come from early action, but on a global level.
Alliances to tackle this problem will need to cross national and cultural boundaries. But the developed world has a clear leadership responsibility in achieving a global approach.
Greg Combet has told the conference that the government is determined to press ahead with its emission trading scheme despite the legislation facing defeat in the Senate.
I can assure you that the government is not engaging in posturing here. The Prime Minister and the entirety of the government are committed to this important economic and environmental reform, and we will prosecute it.
Anglo Coal Australia boss and Minerals Council member Seamus French says the government has not listened to the industry.
And why did he choose to ignore the lead set by the European Union and by the US in taking a far more measured approach to introduction of a carbon economy? They have seen fit to ignore all the facts presented to them. They continue to ignore all the facts, and they continue down their path that they've been on, irregardless.
And as far as the mining industry is concerned, that path is filled with uncertainty.